Welcome to the Liberace Mansion.
Welcome to Under the Vegas Sun, looking at the people, the events, and the news surrounding Las Vegas and the entire Vegas Valley. Hello, I'm Steve Shore. We are live from the Liberace Mansion. This is a wonderful instrument. It's called, of course, a piano. But just saying it's a piano means one thing, but actually being able to utilize the piano is something completely different. On our program today, a very, very special guest who's not only figured out how to utilize the piano, but does so in a way that helps others. And I guess if you want to look at it, that's really what the world should be all about, helping others. She's a tremendous young woman who not only has gained fame because of what she does and how she does it, but also how she gives back. You'll meet her in just a couple of seconds. Stay with us. We'll be right back. It has been said that music can soothe the soul. It can do a lot more than that. Music is like a language all of its own, and when you understand that language, when you utilize that language in the way it's supposed to be, some amazing things happen. Our very special guest on the program today is an individual who not only knows the language, plays the language, but is the language, and has done so in so many different ways. Our very special guest on the program today, Alexandria Lee. Welcome to our program.
Hello.
There is this power. There is this sense of what music can do. At your young age, you've kind of figured out and determined that it does have that power, that it does soothe that soul, that it can make changes in people, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely.
How did you learn that? How did you find that out?
Well, through my early career, I found that playing inside the concert hall was very helpful to me, but also outside the concert hall had a tremendous impact not only on me as a performer, but I realized for those listening. So I was born and raised in Las Vegas, and I was sponsored to go into an elementary school to talk about the work that I did, and I enjoyed that kind of early altruistic work. But when I moved out to New York, where I lived for about 15 years, I was sponsored to go into some pretty hard to reach places as far as music is concerned. And I found that there was a lot of need for that music.
And it gave something to you too, didn't
Oh,
it?
absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
so let me step back a little bit,
Yeah.
okay? So this wonderful instrument that we have behind us, this piano, which this is a very special piano, but this piano became part of your life beginning at a very young age, 3 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
2.5.
Two and a
My
half,
mom would
actually.
correct you on that.
Well, I bet she would. So 2.5 years
Yeah.
old. And it quickly became a part of everything that you were.
Absolutely.
But why? I mean, piano is a piano. I mean, I played saxophone and clarinet, but it didn't become a part of who I am. That became a part of who you are. Why?
Well, music eventually became, it's an identity, my voice speaks through it. But I also had a very nurturing mother. She's a piano teacher and absolutely
the
supported
piano teacher
me.
mom.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Yep. So she was the reason why I started at such an early age. And then as I grew up in Las Vegas, she absolutely supported every endeavor.
Okay, so this piano was very special. Of course, it was Liberace's touring concert grand piano. That's right. 1919, when it was built in 1919. It was the same year that Liberace was born, which is amazing story to me. But you have a direct connection to Liberace and pianos. We're going to show a picture here of you at the age of 14, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
14 years old. You played.
I believe I was 13, so I wasn't in high school yet. Yep, I was 13 years old.
And you won an award for playing as Liberace.
I did, yes. Yep. My mom signed me up for the Liberace Play-Alike competition, the amateur version, because I didn't look exactly like Liberace there, but I won it. I ended up winning that award. So one of the perks was I got to play at his piano, which is what you see in the picture.
Which is a wonderful thing. And
it is.
Hopefully later on in the program we'll talk you into playing on one of his other pianos.
Yes, yeah.
But there's a part of what you do that to me, I guess, has so much connection. And that is, you utilize your music, your talent, to get to prisoners, those in jail, and to get to young children in school. For a period of time, I was on a great organization called Save the Music. I was on the board, and I learned so much about what music can do for young people, because it sparks a certain part of the brain that later on helps them educationally. You've now taken that and you've created a nonprofit. You've gone in a different way to help young people and help people who really would not have known what this type of instrument can do.
That's right. So I founded Notes with a Purpose, which is only a year and a half old, but we have brought classical music to homeless shelters. We've brought Carnegie Hall musicians to elementary schools and Title I elementary schools. And it's been really rewarding for those musicians as well. And especially to do this for my hometown of Las Vegas. It's very meaningful. I've been planning this for a while.
There's a wonderful organization called the Las Vegas Rescue Mission that you actually did an event at. And I know, in talking to people who were there, you actually helped change people's lives. You actually helped make a difference in who they were. Now, for myself, I did not have an appreciation for classical music until I was in college.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Never exposed to it. Never exposed to it as a youngster. Born in the projects of Newark, New Jersey. Didn't have anything like that in my life. Once I heard it, though, I was hooked. And
Absolutely.
That's what happens to people sometimes.
Absolutely. They have a 15-month addiction recovery program at the Las Vegas Rescue Mission. And there was a client of theirs who's graduated now, but in the middle of his stay there, that's when we introduced Notes with a Purpose to the mission. And we went in a few times before we even started Notes with a Purpose, and now we go there every Wednesday. But this client tracked me down and said that ever since our first visit, he used classical music as a way to meditate at night to help him get over his addiction, and
soothe the soul.
Yep, absolutely.
It's what it does.
And I had never listened to it before.
And when you hear it, when you sense it, when you feel it. Now, we've had some amazing talents on our program, on this program in particular, and there's a certain something that when you, like yourself, when you feel it, it just encompasses everything that you are. It's like any good music. It's like opera or anything great like that. It encompasses you. One of my favorite lines out of all came from a movie called Pretty Woman. And he takes her to the opera. And he says to her, you know, if you love it, it will become part of you. If you don't love it initially, you can appreciate it.
That's right.
But when you hear it, you do. It becomes part of who you are. And that's what happened to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I found that my exposure to even great classical musicians as I was growing up really influenced the way that I played. The communication is really important for me, not just through the notes, but also how I present classical music too. Meaning that if I was to play for a group of kids, you know, I put the right framework around that piece of music so that they understand how to listen to it even better. And that's what we do when we bring in these music outreach programs for Notes with a Purpose. We make sure that it's scripted well, that there's the right framework. And so this was just embodied in me from an early age, knowing that it's important in how to gift this gift of music. I mean, playing and performing music for an audience is very important, but I think there's also a connection that you can have to also say that classical music is accessible. So that's, you know, that's Notes with a Purpose's goal. It's also my goal as a musician, is to make.
Well, you played Carnegie Hall. You played some of the great places in the entire world, and through all of that, you've kind of gained this great knowledge of what I think this talent of yours can do for others. It's not just for you anymore.
Right.
I mean, initially, probably when you were 12, by the time you were in high school, you had gained 16 awards by the time you finished high school, 16 major awards for what you do. That benefits you, of course.
Right.
But now you're using that talent to help others.
Yep, and I'm trying to pass this on to our younger musicians here in Las Vegas as well. One of our other outreach programs is going to partner UNLV jazz students with expectant moms in need to co-write a lullaby for their baby. And then we record that professionally and gift it back to the moms. But this is actually helping these young musicians utilize their gift and talent of music to really bring it out to our community to help just foster a richer environment, of culture in Las Vegas using the arts.
Listen, when I came here, there wasn't much culture. I helped start the Philharmonic. I was involved initially in the opera company that was struggling so much. Now, with so much here, are you surprised that culture has become so big?
I'm not as surprised. I think that it's needed. I think we all realized that we needed more accessibility to it. I also think as our city is growing, we have people having experienced other cities, like myself when I moved out to New York. It was very enriching, but I knew that I would always come back to Las Vegas to do something.
And now you're bringing it here. We're going to take a break for a couple seconds. When we come back, I'm going to try and talk her into moving over to the piano here and see what we can do. But I want to talk about another love that you have that you've helped create, and that's a little festival of sorts. We'll talk about that also when we come back. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Amazing.
Hello, my name is Martin Ravenhill. I am the proprietor, owner of the Liberace Mansion, and I welcome you and invite you to explore all of the incredible features we have available at this historic house. Liberace lived here from 1974 until his death in 1987. Since then, I've been able to remodel and restore this house to its former glory. Here we have 15,000 square feet of amazing historic space available for weddings, ceremonies, corporate events, and charity fundraisers. The Liberace Mansion. There is no place like it in the world.
Music. It kind of gets right inside of you when it's really good. Our very special guest in the program, wonderful piano virtuoso who does so many things to bring music to people. Once again, a very special guest, Alexandria Lee. I should also say doctor because you have that wonderful doctoral degree in music as well.
Thank you.
So let's talk about another side of you. You kind of believe as though music should belong more to the people. You kind of believe that if you could get people closer to classical music, maybe in a way that they didn't think they were going to get involved in classical music, it could really help change them as well and their thoughts about classical music. So you created something called the Las Vegas Wine and Music Festival, correct?
That's right.
So But you don't use classical music as just classical music, right?
That's right.
How do you do it?
First step is we take it outside the concert hall into an untraditional space. So that could mean the Nevada State Museum. We also have used the Porsche showroom. The second twist to this is
Porsche showroom. So you've got cars and you've got classical music.
That's right.
I can see that.
And then we also pair wine to the music. So that way there's a multi-sensory experience with the music.
Okay, so wait a minute. Now I like wine, and I know if I'm eating fish, it's a white wine. If I'm eating a nice great Italian, I want a good robust red wine. In everything that I've ever read about wine, it doesn't say, now with Brahms you drink this wine, and with Tchaikovsky or Chopin you drink this. What do you mean you pair them with wine?
Yep, and we are actually one of the very few people in the world to do this. We actually have a sommelier in residence, Jamie Smith, who helps with this wine pairing process. But we talk about the characteristics in the wine, we match them up with characteristics in the music, and we find a common ground. So this could be flavor profiles. For instance, you might have 3 distinct tastes, flavors that the sommelier will say is in the wine, and we pair the music off to that. Yeah, it's really fun, and you're not supposed to think about it too hard. It's a very fun and relaxing, and also a very festive evening whenever we have these events, in that it's a fun way to engage with culture, with both wine and music.
We've had, again, many guests on the program that have talked about the influence of classical music on popular music. There's so many popular songs that have intertwined within them pieces of classical music that people don't understand are really true classical music. I think what you're doing with the Las Vegas Wine and Music Festival is giving them that opportunity to entwine within what they normally think about classical music into something that they can believe in, which is a nice glass of wine.
Yeah, and it's really about kind of letting there be more accessibility to the experience. It's not stuffy. Even the wine can be somewhat stuffy in nature, but we really want this to be an approachable experience.
Okay, so I'm a Tchaikovsky fan. Okay, I'm a Tchaikovsky fan. Can you play some Tchaikovsky for us?
I can.
Okay, before you do that, now tell me what wine you would pair with Tchaikovsky.
Well, as Jamie does when he leaves me to do the music direction, I leave him to do the wine pairings. Yep.
So you're kind of skating around this, right?
I am, because it's a very subjective thing too. I would probably say it would be something like a red blend, but from there it's going to be up to Jamie and me working it out together. But being that it's a lush piece, the Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto, for instance.
Okay, you sold me.
Okay, it's a very lush, romantic work, and just as in wine, you have different types of bodied wines. You have light-bodied wines, medium.
Yeah,
It's like a medium.
I can picture Tchaikovsky with maybe a Brunello.
Yeah, exactly.
A Brunello would go well with Tchaikovsky.
Exactly.
I can see that.
Exactly.
So I'll drink the wine in a fake way. Can you give us some Tchaikovsky?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Condensed like Liberace would have done it. But yeah.
I'm out of breath. There is, in watching you put your entire self into what you just did. I mean, not only do your hands play the notes, that is the whole body of you playing the notes.
Yeah, it's a very triumphant, a very exclamatory piece. So there's a lot of that and the tension that overrides the whole thing. Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that play Tchaikovsky that don't embody the whole piece.
Oh, thank you, Steve.
Embody the whole piece.
Thank you.
Have you done that since you were a child?
I performed this piece with the Las Vegas Philharmonic, actually, in my early 20s, and it was really fun to play it with a full orchestra, which it's meant to sound with a full orchestra. Yeah.
I know that you have a certain love of Brahms. That's like one of your favorites, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's so different than Tchaikovsky. How do you then bring yourself to do a Brahms piece when it has so much soul to it and so much love and emotion to it? It's not the big powerful, it's that wonderful sound. Yeah. Does that do the same thing for you?
Absolutely. Brahms is a favorite. When you were talking about that sound, I love the dark, brooding sound that you can get, and especially on a longer instrument like this beautiful piano here. I can definitely revel in the sound a lot, but any composer, any classical composer that I'm playing, I really like finding the context of the piece and bringing that to life. So it's doing my homework not only digitally, playing the notes, but understanding the meaning behind it.
Well, I think what's amazing to me about you is that not only have you this incredible talent, you have this internal fire to share your talent and to make a difference in other people's lives. I think with your program to help people, Notes with a Purpose, I think helps amazingly what can change people down the line. I think giving an opportunity for children to experience what music can do gives them an opportunity to change down the line. And I think what you're doing with Las Vegas Wine and Music Festival is the same thing. It gives people an opportunity to go, wait a minute, there is something more than just somebody sitting at the piano. There is something more to this. So I want to congratulate you. I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing. We're honored for you to be able to be on the program and share with us. And thank you for being with us. It's been a fast half hour. It's been absolutely delightful. Thank you very, very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. So for all of you, for the audience, let me give you a couple of things. Number one, Notes with a Purpose. Go online, find out more about Notes with a Purpose. It's an amazing program that I'm telling you can change lives. The next time that Las Vegas Wine and Music Festival comes around, be there. It's a great experience. It's something very, very different. And I'm going to close with this wonderful lady by saying we all have the possibility of life to make a difference in someone else's life. She does it every day. You can too. Sometimes it can take just a smile or a hello. We all have that potential. We'll be back with some closing words in just a moment. Stay with us. Every time I look at this, and I wonder how people like Alexandria can play it so amazingly, and I can't even hit one darn note. I don't understand it, but she is amazing. And talking about amazing, we talked in the show about the Las Vegas Wine and Music Festival. Well, we have your opportunity to even attend one. The date is April 25th. It will be at the Porsche showroom here in Las Vegas. It is a great opportunity to not only experience amazing classical music and wine, but also help a lot of people in the process. Las Vegas Wine and Music Festival on the 25th of this month at the Porsche operation and automobile sales room here in Las Vegas. You know, Las Vegas is changing. I'm very, very proud to say that one of the things that is changing, it is now official that the Las Vegas Raiders will become the Vegas Raiders in 2020, because everything is now signed, sealed, and delivered. So the Raiders are making home in Las Vegas. Yes, this town continues to grow. Until the next time, I'm Steve Shore. Be safe and enjoy life under the Vegas sun.